All right. So I'm Carl Newth. This is my grandfather Ron Newth.
Yes.
So Ron's
ancient relic.
he's getting a little older now. So you've had a very long career in the nuclear industry.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I was a single man when I was working for them. And single was a long time ago. And then we came to New Zealand. That as a result of those 5 or 6 years, I probably wouldn't get to be very old, because everything we handled was radioactive.
But here you are. I mean, I suppose
here I am.
My motivation really to do this video, I guess I'm wanting to kind of share, understand your work and share your wisdom, especially now when you've got to this great age. And so here we are in the living room. So I mean, I guess my first question would be, when you worked in the nuclear industry for so many years, I mean, what exactly did you do?
Oh, it's very hard. It's hard to answer that.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, it's not that. It's an awkward question to answer. See, I'm a chemist, really. That's my trade, if you want to call it that. So basically, I arrived at work every day, generally on one of the firm's buses.
A nuclear bus.
Oh yes, no, just an ordinary bus.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. But I suppose it's like it's got a nuclear logo on the bus.
It's only when you get to the gates of the place, and the actual establishment was called Springfields, and it was effectively the size of a small village.
A whole village.
Oh yeah, it was a very large place. It wasn't a village, it was a factory.
So would we be talking like perhaps 100 people, or?
The thing is, what happens there is all over the world, people are digging for ores which contain uranium and all the various bits and pieces.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, all the good stuff. And that gets loaded onto trains in Africa, New Zealand. I analysed stuff from New Zealand.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I don't think we had uranium here in New Zealand.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It's not known for it, but yes, they've got new uranium deposits here.
Wow.
And you see what the firm did. I'll call it the firm. It's easy to use that word.
Yeah, whatever you feel safe to use.
What they did was looked for ores all over the world. So they had people all over the world who let them know just what ore was available and what might be available. There were people out testing for ores and so on. All over. So there were ores from Africa, ores from parts of Europe, from everywhere, Australia, and New Zealand, among others. And samples of these ores were sent to the UK, and usually they arrive. Samples arrived not as little parcels. They were loads. Tons were sent.
So would this be to test the grade?
Yeah, and they sent ore. They knew. Look, if you're looking for any radioactive ore, locating it's relatively easy because all you need is a Geiger counter that reacts to radioactive particles striking it, and of course, bingo, you know you've got ore. Now the question is, how good is the ore? Is it any use? Is it of any commercial use? That you don't know. That's got to be tested much more thoroughly, you know. You need to know how much you've got. Are there tons of this ore going to be available? I mean, all you've got is bits of, well, whatever you've dug up, which can be full of whatever's in the ground there, everything. And there could be large amounts over there and smaller amounts over here, and you know, it's like I don't know how to express it. So if you digged into soil, well, there's all kinds of stuff down there, isn't there? You know.
This is really it's a natural safe resource coming out of the ground.
It's just
what you're saying.
The ore is just among all the other things. Iron, lead, zinc, zirconium, whatever, you know. It's all there.
And so when you tell people that you were working in nuclear, I mean, what was the most kind of common reaction you would get, and what do you kind of wish that they understood instead?
Well, I never seriously thought about it. I'm
sorry to put you on the spot. It's a bit of a curveball.
I worked.
Like, would people ask you?
My job was as a chemical analyst. And it just so happened that the bit of chemistry that I was interested in was the radioactive bit. So we would, it's hard to, because the ores, I wasn't prepared for this. They dig this stuff. To you, it would be a load of dirt or rubbish, or, you know, from wherever. It was all labelled, of course, New Zealand stuff and where it came from, and it was all located properly, you know, by geographers, not anything else, not scientists particularly. So the mainline railway ran very close to the outside of the village. There was a railway line, that's just like saying there's just a railway line which carried all kinds of things, people, goods, and loads of ores and things, you know, whatever. And that, when it reached the village, there was a sideline that actually came in specifically. And the stuff was unloaded, obviously by machines rather than people, because the person on the receiving end essentially only had a very rough idea of what they were getting, because it was just ore, you know. Sometimes a bit purified, sometimes it was an ore that you could wash with water.
So it would be like black rock or dirt?
Rock, dirt, just whatever. They're all different, totally different, you know. So the ores came in on trucks, from wherever in the world they'd arrived, and then they went through a factory process that was on a very large scale indeed, because these things were coming in all the time, you know, and so it had to be processed. Now, I could no more describe that process sitting here now than I could fly to the moon, you know, because it involved a lot of people, and I wasn't one of them.
So when you ran into people like who weren't in nuclear, how and you said, hey, I'm working in nuclear, what would their common kind of reaction be to you? I mean, would they be kind of a bit scared of it, or would they be?
You never ever told.
They wouldn't react. Or you wouldn't tell them at all.
You wouldn't tell them.
You wouldn't tell them.
You know, they would say, if someone said, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" I say, "Well, I would just say I work for the United Kingdom Atomic Energy Authority." You know.
Is it because perhaps they wouldn't kind of understand it, or be too scary for them?
No, it was just a simple fact of life. You never thought of it as anything. I don't think I thought of it as particularly special. Well, I knew it was different than most people. But what it actually meant depended very much. Well, first of all, you were going to work in this vast factory, which was vast.
Yeah.
But your part in it could have been just one. I mean, I worked in a small group of laboratories in just one corner of the place, you know. There were other laboratories, because once the stuff arrived there, all kinds of things happened to it. First of all, they tried to separate the most of the radioactive stuff from the non-radioactive stuff, which involved a lot of processes in itself. This ore was being processed one way or another, because processing can mean chemical processing or mechanical processing, you know. And that was basically my bit of it. Was the sort of end product, because it went through lots of processes, and processes involved enormous amounts of chemicals you wouldn't believe. For instance, one of the, God almighty, it's so big you can't imagine. One building, things, the material had got to a stage where uranium containing, elements of it had to be extracted with ether, diethyl ether, from the solution that it was already in. And that required processing, and the single building that did that bit of processing was a giant building. It was very big.
Like what, 50,000 square meters or bigger?
Oh,
it's
God.
huge.
It was very big.
Yeah.
I can't easily put it into words, because the amount of ether that they used, and you know a bit about ether, of course, you know, and you know that it's explosive and dangerous and poisonous and everything else. But
sorry, I don't actually know what ether is.
Well, it's the building.
I probably should know, but
no, that's part of the
that's a gas.
It's like it's as if you start with a collection of things. It's almost imagine like you've got a crate of coloured balls, and gradually you've got to separate the blue ones from the yellow ones, and the yellow ones from the green ones, and you know that's just, I'm trying to. It didn't look like that at all. But I'm saying
that's fine. You can simplify for me.
It's just, it has to be separated, and the bit where the ether I've picked on the ether because I happened to wind up doing analysis in that one on several occasions. They moved you. It was almost as if I had a home lab in this huge enterprise, but you moved to other ones.
So you're moving from place to place. Yeah. Well, I mean that's amazing. So if I can, we can come back to the factory. But I was just like, we hear a lot about needing reliable energy these days, So how do you think nuclear power compares to things like, solar and wind in terms of keeping these lights on and focusing on base load power no matter what the weather? I mean, do you think nuclear is basically superior, or what are your thoughts about that?
Oh God, you'd get an army of quarreling about that, because I actually think nuclear's good. Obviously, it's very expensive because you've got to build factories on this scale, and they're expensive, and there's a lot of your expense straight away, and you've got to be absolutely certain that you can separate out the things that are truly radioactive from those that aren't, or from those that are harmlessly so. I mean,
once you've got it built, though, I mean, you've got power no matter what the weather. Right?
You've got the power.
I mean, it's not relying on the sun. It's not relying on.
No, it's not relying on anything. No, it relies
solar or.
It's radioactive, and that's what does the trick.
And so you've got strong base load for the country.
You've got no problem there. The problem is the sheer expense.
If we were relying on nuclear energy here in New Zealand, would it make the country more independent in terms of its energy supply? Like, do you think we'd actually have security benefits rather than having to rely on all these other factors? If we actually had a nuclear power plant here, bang, would we be independent?
Years and years ago, I would have said no, but now I think the whole thing's advanced to a stage where I believe, well, God, you could argue for hours. I actually think it would be a very good, reliable source of energy.
I think that as well. And it gets a very bad reputation. People these days are very scared of nuclear because of incidents like Chernobyl. But I think things have advanced in terms of safety and regulations.
I think things have moved. I was involved in there was it's so long ago now that I've forgotten the names. There was there have been famous incidents like in Japan and America.
Fukushima.
Fukushima.
And there have been incidents.
And
I suppose there were older plants.
There have been incidents in Europe, in Britain, in America. Well, the British had the first of the bigger ones, quite big actually.
So I mean, what has really changed since then? I mean, and how safe is nuclear power now compared to then?
I think it's perfectly safe.
Do you think there's been a lot of safety advancements?
I think it's as good, probably because it is so famous, because it's so known, it gets lots of attention, and so they can't afford to have even a small accident. Because even a small accident, I think they've, insofar as human beings can never make anything that's perfect, I suspect, but within those limits, I actually think it'd be quite a good thing for New Zealand to have. But
absolutely, because I mean,
but then you've got to get into the politics of it all.
Well, if we steer away from the politics, I mean, how dangerous is it really? I mean, where does the waste go? I mean, how do we address some people listening to us? I think they might have an environmental concern. They might say, how do we handle the storage and the kind of advancements of the waste management? But do you think those areas have improved since?
They've certainly improved in overseas countries. They'd have to be improved in the same way here, of course. It would all.
So how have they been improved? So is there safer storage or safer vessels, or how? I don't really know how it's stored, to be honest. And where does it go? Actually, is it really as dangerous as people say?
Oh, crisis.
Well, if you had to give the harsh truth, after your years of experience, you know the industry, you know all the ins and outs, and if you had to lay it down, and really just give it straight. I mean, there's climate change coming. We've got major energy problems happening.
I think you can consider it safe Yeah, I think it's safe. You've got to accept that you're handling something that's intrinsically dangerous, but then a heavy rock's damn dangerous if you drop it on your foot, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Well, a heavy rock would squash my foot.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, bang on. Right on.
Yeah, so there's always going to be something you can do wrong. The thing about radioactivity is it generates heat. And that's the purpose of the whole thing in the end is to get some energy from somewhere, some direct energy.
Is it a cleaner energy? I mean, compared to burning fossil fuels, at the end of the day, my understanding is nuclear is carbon free. Once you're up and running, you're golden. It's basically clean.
Yeah, once you've got everything put together.
Is that correct?
That's more
or less.
Yeah, more or less correct. I actually don't regard it as particularly dangerous in that, yes, it's dangerous, but then gunpowder is dangerous, and people use it industrially all the time for all kinds of things, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great example. So, I mean, looking back at your career, I mean, what would you consider your most proud kind of achievement when it comes to your work in the nuclear industry?
Oh, nothing.
There must be a moment, if I had to pin you down to...
No
particular moment. You're proud of all of it.
Oh yeah.
All of it.
It's like if you're in a team building a car,
yeah,
you're proud of making the car. Do you know what I mean? But it's not you.
Well, I guess it's the type of question, like if I go for interviews, sometimes they'll ask me the question, what's your proudest achievement? Sometimes you have to make something up, like, oh well, what was this? I know it's a tricky question, but I was just wondering if there was like a personal kind of high point for you,
A high point for me is that in spite of years of working with it directly, I'm still here. I'm still alive.
Which proves the safety.
Which proves the safety, doesn't it?
It does prove it. Exactly.
Handling stuff that is radioactive all the time. The liquids you handle are radioactive. The solids you handle, they're radioactive. Not violently so, but they're all radioactive.
Yeah, I mean, even...
nuclear... It is a form of energy in the end, but of course it's generated within nature, which is solid. I mean, oh Christ, this is very tricky. We need a long lesson in physics and chemistry.
We can do longer sections. I mean, I guess we're just trying to maybe give them a taste, to touch the tip of the iceberg. So I mean, it is. I suppose what you're saying is it is coming from nature.
Oh, yes, coming from nature, all right.
Would that be what
you were... Well, they're natural. I mean, radioactive compounds are common in nature. It's just that in this country or this town or not this town, this country or this mountain or this valley or so, it'll be a lot more concentrated. And if it's really very concentrated, then you want to collect the material that is the concentrated form and make use of it by very carefully not handling it yourself. No, get machines to do it,
AI, robots.
Yeah. It's like you really need to think these things out before you start talking about them. Because, for instance, my father was a coal miner. You know what coal is, you've seen it, you have, most people have seen it. If they haven't, it's not hard to go and find some to look at, And coal is a very generally, well, at its best, it's a lovely, clean, shiny, black thing, that it's...
and I haven't really used much coal in my life, but...
No, well, you wouldn't have worried.
No, I have seen coal,
But that's what I mean. You can say, yeah, I've seen it, it's black stuff, it's that simple. But it's actually dirt. And but it's a special kind of dirt, you know. And radioactive things are a special kind of solid.
So it's a special kind of dirt.
It's a special kind of dirt.
That's a great way to put it. So, I mean, what do you hope the future of nuclear energy looks like for my generation and I guess my children's generation?
Well, the thing is, I can't think of anything better in the end, because you've got to take so many things into account. Like for say New Zealand now, you could build a nuclear power station. You would have to import all the radioactive parts of the plant from overseas. You know, I mean, basically, you've got to accumulate